the new people, we're going to work in volume. And this is why we draw, to come to this point, to understand volume. And once you understand volume and you're able to draw, you can go to paint. You cannot do that any other way than to understand form and how to light form and how to make it come to life. So this is a system, and I'm going to talk to you about it now. Okay, let's see, everything has a sphere. It's a round form, right? We have this round form, okay? This is my light source.
I'll just sit and watch.
You close on that, Larry?
I'll just watch that. That's okay.
I got my light source. Here we go, okay? Now, this is called the edge. We talked about it. I'm just going to bring it up. This is the edge of the form. So here you have light, and there you have shadow on this side, okay? Now, this is how we generate beauty and form, and we create a three-dimensional form that goes around, okay? Voila. We always have this. Now, the Impressionists, this is where they got their color. Their base color is here. Your strongest, your more intense color is here. This is diminished because it's in the shadow, and this is washed out because of light, okay? So we're going to start, and then we have the cast shadow. And the cast shadow is where you really generate beauty when you're anything you paint, anything. It can be a tree, a barn, a human being. All these principles, they all come into play. Now this is ambient light from the room. I just put on a little more light so you can see that. So it's ambient light from the room. It's not direct light. So we're always dealing with this ambient light, no matter what we're drawing. And this is ambient light within your shadow. So the closer to the object, the stronger, the richer, the denser the shadow is, right here. Hey, Mikey, let's stay with the program here. Okay, we got it? We got it, kids? All right, now I'm going to go to the model, and I'm going to put into practice what I just talked about. And what you're going to do, you're going to be able to see any form on the model, and you're going to translate it into these elements. Your mind is going to work in the way it's not you. We're in this class because everyone can copy, and it's very few people. Everyone in the class, very few people can go up there and copy what they see and put it on the paper. I mean, that's just given to a few like us, few geniuses like ourselves. And what we're going to do, but you're not learn to really interpret what you see, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go quickly, as always, so I don't take your time. And here we go. I'm going to lay it in. Now this pencil is wonderful because it's just, I'm not even touching. When you have a pencil that's really sensitive and you're doing things like your hands, or small things like, let's say you're doing fingers and forms like that, it's so much easier to draw when you don't have to put a lot of pressure on it. Okay? You see, you can get a really delicate, beautiful line with this stuff. Yeah, yes, Judy?
And what number was that?
3.
So
3.
what would a 6 be like?
I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there.
Too soft.
Maybe too soft. The thing is, you gotta watch out because it'll break. Okay, I'm just laying this in. This whole form here is just exactly the same thing here. Then I'll go into that briefly. I'm gonna get a nice. There we go. Just gonna lay this in. You know, we did the Sufi model, the cloud-like form. And what that is drawing this form in a solid gray mass. You want to be able to identify the actual cube, the form, when you draw. All right, now I am going to just concentrate on the torso. All right, now I've laid it in. Now I'm going to do my study on the head form, because as we start to describe these forms in here, we have a tendency to reduce any form that you work a long time on. It has a tendency to become smaller. It's the same with the hands and the same with the face and the feet, okay? So I've laid it in because that's what I'd like to look into. And now I'm going to work this area up here. Aha, she's coming straight. I didn't do that properly. She's coming straight at me. So I'm going to move this eye over. And I'm gonna start with my right. We just had a discussion about the importance of doing the same system. If you're used to going left to right, do that. Because sometimes you don't feel comfortable when you change up the way of doing, you know. Oh. I'm going to lay this in quickly. This is not going to be a finished drawing. It's I'm going to interpret this area. Okay, where do we have? My nose is here. She has a nose that's coming out towards us, even though this is taking light here. And all right. I'll bring that down a tad. Just a tad. Okay. It's a beautiful hard edge right here. That describes the form of your lower lip. And this is the other side of the lower lip right through here. All right, so that's that. This is this. So I'm going to do this very simply because we're talking about volume. Now the volume goes everywhere. The volume is in the hair. There is not any place you're going to work where you don't need these systems. And when that kicks in, you can't see anything without volume. Just everything you see, it has the volume. And you can understand how to interpret the volume. Okay. Enough here. All right. Now I'm going to go here quickly. I'm going to create my mask. Take my reed. And I'm going to pull. Let's do our thing. Let's do it properly. Where the shadow is, we're going to do this with this system.
What are you using for that? Paper towel?
No, this
No,
this is
no.
this is the vine charcoal, large vine charcoal.
Oh, okay.
Now we take the paper towels. Now I'm just going to pull. Okay. You want to get a nice density. Here, I'm going to pull through. I want to do this. I don't want to spend a ton of time here. So here we go. Now I'm going to turn on the light. I'm just imaginary light. I'm going to turn it on, and we are going to create form. And I would suggest that you go in with your light, your light selections. The first thing, before you put too much density on your page, too much dark. These are all halftones now. They're light and they're halftones, and you're not going to confuse them with your darks have become too dark.
Say that
Okay.
again? Say that again?
No, if you went into the darks without finding your particular form, you'd overdraw. We overdraw. Now we're kind of concise where we're going to go. We have an idea. All right. It's there. It's a given. But you see everything here. That's a turn. This has a nice form to it. I'm going to keep that dense. What I'm going to do right here is pump some blood in here. I can't get this to work. Oh, this has a nice little ridge here. And we're gonna get a nice highlight right where it's the darkest. And we'll get that. I'll just put that in. Like that. And I'm gonna keep some of my halftones. I'm gonna keep them pretty aggressive here. There we go. Okay, now we will start to establish our darkest darks, okay? Now I'm going really fast here. This is compressed charcoal. It's a nice pointed piece. This is my darkest dark right here. My darkest dark right here. This is fantastic. I was talking about the cast shadow over here. You saw that cast shadow? Here we go, right here, folks. Isn't that fantastic? Look at that. You have the whole range of color. Descriptive line for the eyebrow. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the hair form. Now the hair form is exactly the same thing. It's just a mask. See the mask? So this is going away from the light. And if we had hair down here, this would be dark. Now there's no light. The light is not hitting here. Okay. And you'll have a highlight right here on the form. And over here, it's all nice dark form, beautiful form. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overdraw. Okay, now we're talking about this particular, the edge. There's an edge on this, you can see there's an edge here. I'm going to push it in as an edge on the form right here. I'm going to get a halftone. This is my halftone. An edge. Now I'm going to go a little more aggressive just for this exercise. There we go. All right, now there's an edge in here too coming down. Actually, there's an edge on the nose. It's right here. This is cast shadow. Beautiful cast shadow comes in here.
But which charcoal are you using? The square one?
It's actually, you know what this is?
You're using the vine.
No, this is vine, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. I got the wrong one, here we go.
But you didn't mean to use the vine, you meant to use the compressed?
Yeah, here's the compressed, I got the
Okay,
wrong one.
all right.
There we go. Sorry, folks, sorry. It's the same thing about.
If you want to blend it.
But it worked really well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
hit
if
it-
you
I
wanted
hit it
to
really
blend
hard.
it.
The compressed,
Yeah.
the way he was doing
Yeah.
it. You can't shade it.
Yeah, yeah. You moved it.
Yeah, but
It's
you
great.
can a little bit, but the other one's easier. Now here you see, this is the edge of the form here. See the edge of the form? We're talking here? That's the edge of the form, right here, coming down. Coming down here, coming down, there's the edge of the form. That's what you need to learn to
Right.
to
The core
acknowledge.
shadow line.
So I'm gonna use this guy down here. Cast shadow, cast shadow.
I switched
Okay, cast shadow, there we go. Now this is all fill shadow, this is all fill shadow. And what that does, it gives you the possibility to throw a beautiful cool light or whatever, when you're painting, you can throw a beautiful color right in here. And this is your base color going right through the model, right through the head form. Descriptive line, descriptive line. Voila, basta. I'm going to put a little bit of hair down here so we understand the principle. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Now that's the. I just can't take time to do a finished drawing. I'd love to, but I can't. So you just have to deal with this way, I guess. I'm gonna pull this down a little bit and that highlight here, okay? This is a plane, this is a plane, this is a plane. We always just have to be aware of these two. Your lightest light over here. Now I'm gonna come down and do the body now. I'm gonna use the line charcoal to draw. Now we're gonna draw it, we learned last week. We're always drawing through the form. Maybe a little long. And here we go. Next a little big. It's going to come over here. Okay. And remember we were talking about drawing the form? That form. We drew this form, we've drawn this form, complete forms. Always thinking complete forms. Okay, let's, I don't know, because that looks a little big, right? Maybe I'll have to diminish this a little bit. Now I like to use the Vine charcoal because you can move it around. Move it around nice and easy. Okay, so what's the principle? The principle is this, we're looking for that. So let's go. We'll just put an edge on our form. Just run it through. And negotiate. Now here my cast shadow starts here. And here's a beautiful cast shadow right here. And then we take it right into the mass. There's a beautiful cast shadow right here. This is the core of the shadow right here. Cast shadow, core. This is fill shadow right here. All right, I'm going to do this form here. Same thing. Cast shadow. Now this is descriptive line. Once you do descriptive line, you own the form. And then you want to go in and get the cast shadow, just go like this. Okay? So we have the core shadow, cast shadow. Same here. Now here I'm going to do this form also while we're here. Now this guy is coming like this and out like that. So the shadow, we know the shadow should go up and over. And your highlights are going to be down here. So there's my form. You see, everything, there isn't anything in this drawing that hasn't been thought of and understood as form. It's not just a mass here. This is not just a mass I'm drawing. It goes with another form. It's a descriptive line over here. I'm going to pull this whole form because our light source is here. I'm going to pull it in. And I'm going to hold this guy. It's going to go over here. So let's go to the universe. We can go to the universe here. Okay. This side is all in a dark passage, so we just Just throw it over there. Now, I've obliterated everything. Now I'm gonna go in and own this. I'm gonna own the form. So now we understand that this is in a dark area, but we have the form, we have all the info. I can do part of the, oh, we're together here, I'll do this. Okay, now we own that. Now I'm gonna go in. Actually, I should have started this before. So here, the top of the form, top of the form, top of the form. This is the top of the form here too. This is taking light, okay? This is taking light on top of this form.
You usually do that way before, right?
I'm sorry?
You do that usually earlier?
Yeah, I should have done it earlier, but I didn't. I just didn't. I was making sure that you were aware, and you didn't call me on it until you waited a
I
while.
don't remember.
Jesus.
I can only remember 3 things at a time.
Okay, I'm not gonna mess around up here. It's a lot of fun up there, but it's gonna take time from our demo. Okay, now I'm going to just get my halftones up here, right? What are we doing, folks? We're creating form here, definite form. And I'm not copying what I see up there so much as understanding what I'm drawing. It's the lightest light to a darkest darkest here. I'm going to diminish just only because it should be. Let's get an edge in here. Now, I'm going to just take this guy as an example. Now, what we understand here is there's a soft turn, and it comes in here. We have another turn, and it goes like this. Goes like this. Now we kept just an edge here. I'm going to keep just a little echo here. Okay? So we described this whole form now. I'm going to come down here. We described this form. I didn't do any more here, but let's see. And
Are you
we've done
gonna
that.
keep
Excuse me?
Are you gonna keep that, or are you going to,
The lines?
yeah,
No, I'm just showing you.
oh,
Just showing you. Here, no, and so we're over here, obviously, now that's your core. Now what you can do, if you really want to exaggerate and get a dynamic, when you do painting, when you're painting, sometimes we really get a dynamic in our darks here, just to create beautiful form. You can see the form now. So we're coming here, we're coming out, we're coming over, and we do all of that just with our shading. Okay? This is again cast shadow, the hardest, darkest shadow value you'll have is right there. Are there any questions now, kiddies? No questions? Oh boy, I explain these things so well. Okay.
Beautiful drawing.
Let's always keep in mind that our lines over here towards the light, we always keep a line towards the light. And keep them a little less aggressive than over on this side. See? Nice lines, nice soft lines over here. Because the line itself, when the light hits it, it eats into the line. And on this side, we should get a little more of an aggressive line. You see, that helps us again to turn the form. And this we use all the time in painting.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
On your circle demonstration there, on the ball in the right, could you show what would be a core shadow?
Right here.
So that's the edge of the form?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the same thing as the edge.
the core shadow is in the
And
form.
what,
Good
and
question.
what is fill shadow?
Fill shadow, fill shadow.
What is
It's
fill?
ambient.
The ambient, okay,
Comes
all right,
in,
thank
just
you.
fills the form. This is filling the form.
Okay, all right, got it.
Was that it, question-wise? Okay. All right, now you can suffer. I want you guys to suffer.